We're gonna be doing this workout focusing on maintaining a neutral spine as we get into overhead positions, particularly focusing on what's happening through the shoulder blade. So before we begin, we're gonna find where is our spine at in neutral. So laying down on the floor, a couch, a bed, whatever it may be, you're gonna go ahead and pull your ribs and your pelvis towards each other. You can also think of flattening the small of your back. We don't want to do this so much where you're crunched and you're squeezing as hard as you can. You're gently going to draw your belly button back towards your spine and then pull your ribs and pelvis closer together. The first exercise we're going to do is going to be a glute bridge. So maintaining that neutral pelvis. If you'd like, you can put your thumb on the bottom of your rib cage, your middle finger right here on the front of your hip bone. You're going to drive your hips up off of the table, and then you're going to lower down. As you first begin to introduce this exercise, go ahead and relax in the bottom position. More than likely what you'll feel is those ribs and pelvis moving away from each other when you relax. Go ahead and bring those closer together again, drive up, come back down, and then relax. If when you go to relax, you don't kind of feel the alligator mouth opening up, more than likely you lost the stability on the way down, and if you go to relax, you won't feel anything. So that's okay. Just re-engage and really focus on keeping those 2 points close together through that full motion. Next, we're going to grab a pair of dumbbells, kettlebell, or really any other form of resistance. You're going to straighten your arms in front of you. You're going to pull your pelvis and your ribs together. And now as we go overhead, don't allow your ribs to flare up or your low back to lift off of whatever surface you're laying on. So with those arms in front of you, you're gonna do a subtle punch up, not so much where you lift your shoulders. You're just gonna subtly drive those hands up towards the ceiling. From there, maintaining that punch, you're gonna allow the weight or just the resistance of your arms to pull your arms up overhead and then come back to that starting position. As you do this motion, you are trying to limit how much you compensate through the shoulder. So as you're coming up, if you start to notice you're crowding your ear with your shoulder, take a little break, re-engage that punch, and really try to maintain this muscle right here in a relatively relaxed position. For this exercise, we're going to be using a band anchored from the top of a door jamb, and we're going to be doing some inferior rows. So with this, we're first going to set our pelvis up for success. So sitting here, you'll probably feel that weight under your sit bones. Go ahead and without leading the motion with your shoulders, tuck your tailbone underneath you. You're going to feel that pressure go from your sit bones and up your cheeks a little ways. Keep the pressure there in your cheeks. You're going to go ahead and move yourself away from your anchor point until that resistance subtly holds your arms up. From here, allow that resistance to pull your shoulder blades forward, coming around your rib cage a little bit, not so much that you round through your back, or allow those shoulders to crowd your ears. So just be a gentle pull forward. Next, you're going to go ahead and pinch your shoulder blades down and back. So you're going to think of bringing one shoulder blade down towards your opposite hip and vice versa. We're going to do that at the same time. And as you do that, you'll pull your elbows to your side and stopping your elbows once they come in line with your body. We're trying to avoid doing this motion. So don't worry about how far back you can pull your elbows, because we don't want to tilt that shoulder blade anteriorly. Over here, pulling the shoulder blades down and back, elbows to side, and then relaxing back up. Another thing to look out for is as you pull these elbows down to your side, avoid compensation through your low back. So a lot of times as we come into these positions or use our shoulder blades, we compensate through our rib cage. We try to pull it up. So we'll just come down to your side. And then if you feel like you're pushing your belly button forward, just re-engage that core, tilt that pelvis, and keep your ribs there in that neutral position. Following that, we're going to go ahead and turn around. You're going to straighten your arms in front of you. We're again going to pull our ribs and pelvis together and reach forward. So this will be a standing version of the exercise that we did on the table earlier. Now you're going to allow this resistance to pull your arms up and overhead, limiting your belly button sticking out, compensating through your low back, but also limiting how much the shoulder crowds the ear. So we're going to maintain this space. If, as you come up overhead, you find yourself starting to engage this muscle, go ahead and relax. Allow that muscle to relax, and then let the resistance pull you up higher. If you find there's a certain position that you get to, no matter what, it's going to tense up. Stop right there and come back down. Over time, the more frequently we get to that position, telling that muscle to relax, we'll be able to relax and move through that full range of motion.